Continuing with Titus, chapter 2, verse 2. Start by reading it in the Greek. Presbytas nephalius enai, semnus sophronos, hugiainantas te piste, te agape, te hupamane. The NASB there. Older men, again, I'll highlight it as I go through. Older men. This is a different lexical entry than elders. If you see it in DBL, you'll see here, is it truly an old man, whereas presbyteros is the word for an elder. So, and obviously there's old man is a lexical entry within presbyteros, but presbytes is a different word, so it's a different entry within DBL. So older men are to be temperate, dignified, and sensible, sound in faith, in love, in perseverance. And notice that the NASB didn't insert an "and" in the translation, but you could appropriately add an "and" here, because that's where this semicolon basically clues you into the fact that, okay, the text compilers here recognize this is the end of the thought. So to bring that over into English, it'd be appropriate to have that "and" separating there. So older men is who are in view here. Older men are to be, that's the infinitive form there of the ami. And then we have a number of terms starting with this nephalius, this temperate or sober-minded. This is an accusative, so they are to be these things. Accusative, and I believe all of them are accusative. You can just, all three of those, four I guess, are all accusatives. Because again, the way that relates to the infinitive, you're going to have an accusative that isn't simply a direct object in this case. So these are simple descriptions of what they are to be. They are to be these things. One thing to see is that the hugiainantas is a participle. So we have a verbal here. And this is to be sound or to be healthy. Again, we just saw that in the previous verse. So Paul says, speak what is in accord with sound doctrine, or healthy or accurate doctrine. And then immediately following, we read that indeed older men are to be themselves sound or healthy. So there's that connection. Hugiainuse up in verse 2 and hugiainantas in verse 2. Verse 1 versus verse 2. And then three things that are listed: piste, agape, hupamane. So this triplet, you're familiar with hearing faith, blank, and love. So if I say faith, blank, and love, you probably fill in the blank with hope, because those three occur regularly together, especially in Paul. And interestingly, hupamane, as we can see here, patience or endurance, is actually connected to the idea of hope, if you think about it. Endurance is going to be the practical outflow of having hope. So to have faith and love and endurance is, again, just an expression of that triplet that shows up regularly in Paul: faith, hope, and love. Even in 1 Corinthians 13, but faith, hope, and love remain, and the greatest of these is love. So that is to be a feature of older men in the church. Again, a theme throughout Titus being the qualifications for leadership that we just saw, but also just a general portrait of what maturity looks like. As Paul is addressing Titus, he's on Crete, and he's helping develop those churches. He's portraying a portrait of what men are supposed to be, what women are supposed to be, and this is in sharp contrast to the culture around that devalues these godly traits. So that is Titus chapter 2, verse 2.